What about Mick Beale? You were commending him recently.
I was.
When he said no to having talks with Wolves.
Yeah.
I'm happy where I am. I've committed to Queen's Park Rangers. I'm staying here. I'm going to try and get them up to the Premier League. And now he says, no, do you know what? This offer's too good to say no to. He's reportedly delighted that he's now Rangers manager, and he's back where he once was with Steven Gerrard. So where's your head now with it?
Well, you know, just referring back to Guido's observation, I think he needs to get his client to put his big boy pants on and accept that ultimately his way of behaving in press conferences through the European Champions League probably wasn't the greatest, and his performances against Celtic are the reasons why he's found himself in the invidious position of losing his job after what people would perceive was a very successful run. Now go to the question of Michael Beale. It's a two-faceted question, isn't it? Is it a good move for him to come out of QPR and go to Rangers, where the same challenges face him that faced Gianni Van Bronckhorst, which is dealing with Ange Postecoglou and what's happening at Celtic and how strong Celtic are becoming again? And that's a question that only he can ask. He'll back his beliefs, and he'll feel that ultimately going to Rangers is a step up from QPR, obviously why he's taking the job. He'll have the previous relationship with them as a number two. I was impressed and surprised that he had stayed at QPR when Wolves came in. Now I begin to look at it and suggest that maybe it wasn't this wonderful show of loyalty. Maybe he didn't like what he was being told by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Maybe he didn't hear the exact things that he wanted to hear, and he's now heard them from Rangers. Look, I don't like this kind of behaviour. I don't think he's earned his stripes as a manager. I think he's been there for 5 minutes, and the guys that took the risk were QPR. They're the ones that said, I tell you what, you can break out of the pack. You can stop being a number two, and you can be our man. We'll give you a gig. And their reward for that is for him to be linked to 2 jobs, potentially be prepared to speak to both of them, turn down one, come out with this wonderful soliloquy about how committed he was, and then the moment something that comes along and appeals to him, he's off. Now, I understand. I'm a commercial man. I'm a realist. I'm a pragmatist. People want to evolve their careers, and they have every right to move on.
And essentially, it could be family reasons as well.
Well, yes, I'm sure the same family reasons applied when he was applied to those circumstances when he was given the opportunity to start this lucrative career of being a first-team manager that somebody had the vision to take. That somebody was QPR.
All right. Now, you're listening to Simon intently. What's your take on it, Alex?
I think Mick Beale has come across as very disingenuous, to be honest. There's no problem with rejecting a Premier League job, but I think he was probably a lot closer to accepting Wolves' offer than he's made out publicly. Having decided to stay at Queen's Park Rangers, I don't think he needed to come out with these long statements about loyalty and about integrity and about his commitment to the cause, because if you do that and then you leave the club, 5-6 weeks later, you look like you weren't telling the truth. So I think he set himself up for a fall with that move. I just don't think he needed to do it. I think he's talked too much for a manager who is still in the very embryonic stages of his career. When he came out after Queen's Park Rangers had lost to Birmingham and described that game as Birmingham's cup final, are you sure? Queen's Park Rangers, a cup final for anybody? Come on.
Okay.
Not impressed.